Ready? Switching on the magic lantern. Racing Around the World, based on a book by Jules Verne. Fox and his friend Fix like to race with each other very much.
Nikki and I race with each other a lot, too.
Fox normally was the one who won, and Fix always got very angry when he lost.
You see, Kate? Fix gets angry when he loses, so I'm not the only one.
So you want to be like Fix then? Go ahead. One day, Fix suggested racing around the world in cars to see who is faster. Okay, agreed Fox.
Cool. We would only make it to the playground.
Fix got into the fastest car and took off as fast as he could. And Fox got on his bike and followed him.
Ha! The car is a whole bunch faster. I say Fix wins.
But soon, the gas in the car ran out, and Fox easily overtook Fix.
Ouch! Wasn't there a gas station there? I say Fox wins then.
The next day, Fix got up earlier, took Fox's bike, and rushed off. "Fox, you will never catch me now!" cheered Fix as he rapidly pedaled away.
He's so tricky. Now I say that Fix is gonna win.
And do you think it's okay that Fix stole someone else's bike like that? But soon, the bike got stuck in the sand, and Fix had to carry it on his back. "The bike is not very convenient for Africa," remarked Fox, going past on a camel.
Oh, now I say Fox is the winner.
The next morning, Fix got on a camel and went ahead. "Fox, let's see you try and catch me."
No, I think Fix wins now.
But soon, it got so cold that the camel nearly turned into ice. "You'd better ride on a sled in the north," Fox advised Fix, passing him on a dog sled. "So, Captain Consistent, who do you think it's gonna be now?"
Now I say Fox wins.
The next morning, Fix got onto the sled and continued on his way. "Now I will win!" cheered up Fix. "Fox will never catch me!"
Yeah, go Fix!
The sled is not very good for the jungle. "It's much more convenient to travel on an elephant here," said Fox to Fix, and easily passed Fix.
Like I said, go Fox!
Suddenly, a cry was heard in the distance. "Help! Someone needs our help," said Fox. "I have no time to waste," grumbled Fix and ran off. So, Mike, who do you think it is now? Fix again?
No, I got confused.
Fox ran toward the cry and soon saw fierce tigers preparing to attack a girl. "Go away!" cried Fox and drove away the tigers.
Oh, Fox, I can't believe you lost the race like that. And all because of a girl?
"Thank you so much," said the girl. "I am Princess Aouda. Come along with me to the castle. I'll introduce you to my father, King Suleiman."
Oh, Kate, so it was a princess?
"But I will miss the last ship," said Fox. "That's okay," said Aouda. "We have a balloon. It's both faster and a more interesting way to travel."
I would say that Fix doesn't stand a chance.
"It's not fair!" cried Fix. "It's more than fair!" cried Fox and Aouda. So when the race finally came to an end, Fox wound up beating his friend Fix once again.
Hey, you, Fix! You hate losing, don't you?
And you, Mike? Aren't you just like him?
Me? No way! I don't mind losing, as long as I win.
King Solomon's Treasure, based on a book by Henry Rider Haggard. Once there was a traveler named Solomon. The thing he wanted most in the world was to find a country where birds of paradise would sing in the trees, and instead of stones on the roads, there would be rubies and diamonds.
Everyone would like to find a country like that, full of lots of diamonds.
Yeah, that's right. And I really like birds of paradise. "A country like that does not exist," his friends would tell him. "It does!" Solomon didn't agree with them and set out on his journey.
I also believe that such a country exists.
You're just greedy for diamonds. Solomon walked through high mountains and hot deserts.
It must have been hard.
Of course it was. It would have been easier with friends, though. He swam across wide rivers. His friends waited a long time to hear from Solomon. But then they thought that he had gotten into trouble and he needed their help. You see what good friends he had? They didn't forget their friend.
Maybe the real reason was they just wanted some diamonds too.
They took some food and fireworks with them to celebrate their meeting with Solomon when they found him, and then set off.
I love fireworks too.
The friends followed in Solomon's tracks for a long time. They went through the mountains and across the hot desert.
Kate, is it very hot in a desert?
Like in an oven. The travelers were exhausted. The desert seemed to be endless.
But does anybody live in the desert?
Sure, poisonous snakes. But the desert came to an end, and they found themselves in a valley full of water and coolness. The travelers laid down to have a short rest after the crossing.
I wish they had kept someone on guard. Anything could happen.
But their rest didn't last long. Aboriginals came out from behind the trees. Tumba Yumba! Cried the Aboriginals as they pointed their spears at them.
I told you they should have kept someone on guard.
The Aboriginals tied up the travelers tight and took them to their king. They're going to eat us now, said the travelers sadly.
Can people be eaten?
Well, sometimes I suppose, especially if their names are Mike. The king of the Aboriginals was sitting on a high throne, and his face was hidden behind a golden mask. Flowers bloomed all around, birds were singing, and unusual animals were walking around.
I bet there are also diamonds and rubies on the road. Is this the place he was looking for?
Just listen to what happened next. Dear king, please don't eat us. We're looking for our friend Solomon. He went to look for a wonderful country a long time ago and never came back. A misfortune has probably happened to him.
Kate, what if the Aboriginals ate Solomon and that's why he never went back home?
And then the king said, "Your friend found the wonderful country." And the Aboriginals decided to make him their king. And that's when the king took off his mask and everyone saw that it was Solomon.
Oh, wow! He's a king! His friends didn't believe him.
They didn't believe him, but they went to save him. Because that's just what real friends would do. The Aboriginals untied the travelers, and everyone started jumping for joy and lighting fireworks. It was a real celebration with dancing and singing all night long until the morning.
Kate, can anyone become a king?
What do you think? Then King Solomon presented his friends with lots of rubies and diamonds as gifts. They set out for the trip home, having promised to come and see him often in this wonderful country. Well, Mike, now you understand that friendship is the most important thing, don't you?
Of course. So now, I'm gonna go make friends again with Sammy Martin and Mitchell Rogers. That way, if they become kings, like in the story, then I will get twice as many diamonds.
The Evil Dog of the Baskervilles, based on a book by Arthur Conan Doyle. One day, Sir Baskerville looked very frightened and came to see the famous detective Sherlock Holmes. Strange things are going on in my castle.
So Sherlock Holmes is a detective?
Yes, and he's very famous. I hear a dog howling every night, and in the morning, I find dog tracks in every room. And what is so strange about that? Asked the surprised Holmes.
Oh, come on, Kate. That's so easy. The dog's howling because it's sad, and it leaves tracks on the ground because its paws are dirty. What's so strange about that?
The thing is that I'm afraid of dogs, and I haven't got any dogs in my castle.
No dogs at all? Then where did the tracks come from?
Mike, don't you see? That's what's so strange about it. They went to the castle to solve the mystery immediately. Jack the guard met them in the castle. There are no dogs in the castle. The master is afraid of them. Everybody knows that.
Kate, Doesn't he know about the tracks?
Mike, watch. Don't interrupt. Sherlock Holmes looked around the castle, but he didn't find anything suspicious. Why don't you stay for the night? Sir Baskerville suggested to Holmes.
I would never stay.
And that's why he asked Sherlock Holmes to stay the night and not you, Mike. Later that night, Sherlock Holmes and Sir Baskerville were woken up by the awful howling of a dog. Oh, it's terrible, cried Sir Baskerville, and he hid under the blanket.
Kate, would you mind speaking in a less scary voice?
In the morning, dog tracks appeared in the corridors of the castle again. I don't want to stay here for even another minute, cried Sir Baskerville.
So where's the dog hiding? Why can't anyone see it?
Keep watching, Mike. Don't interrupt. Sherlock Holmes studied the tracks carefully.
What a cool magnifying glass he's got. I need one like that.
Dear Sir Baskerville, stay over in the castle for one more night, and the mystery of the Baskerville dog will be solved.
Kate, could it be some kind of ghost?
Look, Mike, first of all, ghosts don't leave footprints. And secondly, ghosts don't actually exist. That night, Sherlock Holmes and Sir Baskerville hid behind the curtain, waited, and watched.
Wait, do they have a gun? At least a small one, just in case?
Sherlock Holmes uses different methods. At midnight, they heard footsteps in the corridor, and soon a big dog appeared. I'm scared, whispered Sir Baskerville.
Whoa, it's such a huge dog!
But at that very moment, Holmes released a wind-up toy mouse from behind the curtain. It rolled across the floor, and an unbelievable thing happened. The dog arched its back, meowed, and rushed after the mouse.
Wow, the dog is a cat? Sure didn't see that coming.
Holmes lit the torch, and everyone saw it was Jack the guard in a dog costume. Jack, how could you do this to me? Said Sir Baskerville in surprise.
It's Jack? The guard? That sure is a surprise.
I wanted so much for the castle to be mine, cried Jack. I wanted to frighten Sir Baskerville so that he would leave the castle for good.
He's mean. He's supposed to guard, not frighten people.
Oh my goodness, Jack. We'll have to leave forever now, said Sir Baskerville, and a new guard was hired for the castle, one that he could trust. So, Mike, are you still afraid of dogs?
Only Turbo, just a little bit.
Oh, I get it. And I'm pretty sure that Turbo would want to haunt your castle. Right, Sir Mike? Alice Through the Looking Glass, based on a book by Lewis Carroll. One day, Alice was standing in front of the mirror, trying on a dress.
Alice? We already watched one about her. She was chasing a white rabbit, and they wanted to chop off her head.
Good for you, Mike. You have an excellent memory, except that this one is a totally different story.
Okay.
And what if I were to go through the mirror and see what it's really like inside there? Thought Alice, as she climbed into the mirror frame.
Can you really do that?
No, Mike. This slideshow is one of those don't try this at home ones.
Gotcha.
From the other side, everything was the same, except that it was backwards. Interesting, thought Alice.
I like it when everything is backwards.
Alice came out to the garden and saw the flowers. Hello, said the flowers. Whoops, said Alice.
Talking flowers? Cool.
Suddenly, the Black Queen came toward Alice. What are you doing here? Asked the Queen in a mean voice.
But why is she dressed in all black?
Don't get distracted, Mike. Keep watching. I really want to become a queen, said Alice. Then the first thing you need to do is get to that hill. So Alice started on her way.
Oh, so this is kind of like in my video game.
It's much better, Mike. First, Alice was traveling by train, where beetles and dragonflies were sitting and reading newspapers. Such things really happen? Thought Alice. The train took Alice to the forest.
I really like this kind of place.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee lived in the forest. The little men were glad to see Alice, and they started dancing. Alice danced with them for some time and went on.
Is Tweedledee a name?
It sure is.
Cool. And what if Nikki's name was Tweedledee?
Tweedledee, go to the blackboard. Yeah, that'd be cool. Soon, Alice saw Humpty Dumpty sitting on the wall. Be careful, she told him. You may fall down. But he didn't listen to her.
Oops, did he fall down?
It's always the same with those who don't listen. Soon, Alice met two more characters, the lion and the unicorn. Give us a big piece of plum cake, they demanded. But I don't have any. Alice shrugged her shoulders.
Do lions eat cakes?
Then Alice met the White Queen. Hello, said Alice. Bah, responded the Queen as she turned into a sheep. What a day, thought Alice.
She's such a strange queen.
And then the White Knight appeared. Do you want me to take you to the hill? He asked. Such a surprise, thought Alice. Alice climbed up the hill, and suddenly a real crown appeared on her head. I am a queen! She was happy.
Wow, that's it? That was so easy.
Mike, this is not the end yet. Suddenly, the white and the black queens appeared near Alice. This is it, and it is not, they said as they started pinching Alice.
They are wicked!
Stop it right now! Alice shouted, and closed her eyes to not see the wicked queens. When Alice opened her eyes, she found that she was finally back at home. Her kitten was having fun, playing with chess pieces. So this is where the queens appeared from, guessed Alice. So, Mike, was this interesting?
Very interesting. You know, Kate, from now on, I'll be watching all my dreams more carefully.
And why's that, Mike?
Maybe one day a slideshow will be made from one of them.
The Magic Little Portrait of Dorian, based on a book by Oscar Wilde. One day, an artist named Paints painted the portrait of his friend Dorian. The portrait turned out very good.
So what's the big deal? I can paint too. You remember when I painted that hippo, don't you?
Sure, you were gonna paint a cat, but it looked like a hippo.
So what? Anyway, it was a really good painting.
It is so beautiful, everybody admired.
Beautiful? Can boys be beautiful? A boy is a boy.
You don't understand much. I am a real beauty, Dorian said proudly.
Kate, am I beautiful?
Yeah, just like your hippo. So Dorian went for a walk so that everyone could see that he was the most beautiful boy in the world.
Why would he do that?
Dear boy, help me cross the street. An old lady asked Dorian. I won't, Dorian declared grandly. You are old and ugly. Why would I want to help you cross the street?
Oh, it's not polite to say that.
It's not polite to act that way either. Dorian, let's play! A girl named Sabrina called. Play with you? Never! You are not as beautiful as me, Dorian said to her.
Kate, he's just a bad guy, you know? Beautiful or not.
He doesn't seem beautiful to me any longer. In fact, I think the opposite is true. Sabrina began to cry, and Dorian walked by without taking any notice of her.
I would teach him a lesson so he wouldn't act that way.
Exactly. By the way, doesn't he remind you of anyone? But walking on his own was boring. So then, Dorian decided to return home and admire his portrait again.
He's a real smarty pants.
But the portrait had changed. Ugly and evil face was looking back at Dorian from the portrait.
Oh, Kate, how is that possible?
It is quite possible, as you can see. Oh, what is this? Dorian got frightened and hid the portrait in the closet.
No one will say, What a nice little portrait. Anymore.
Or, Dorian is so beautiful. Dorian rushed over to speak to the artist's paints. The portrait is ruined. Now it has evil eyes and a nasty smile. It's because your eyes have become evil, and now you've got a nasty smile. The portrait is magic. Don't you see? It changes as you change.
Does he have magic paints?
Markers. Then I'll become kind, and the portrait will change again. Understood, Dorian?
But what if it doesn't change?
I think it's worth trying. All week, Dorian tried to be kind. He helped old women cross the street, did the washing, picked up his toys, and was very polite.
Did he apologize to Sabrina?
Of course he did. When Dorian decided to look at the portrait again, there was a surprise for him. His kind and smiling face was right there, looking back at him.
Kate, I will never be mean again, okay? And I won't be rude either. And I will always help Mom. Look, do I have kind eyes?
All right, calm down, Dorian. Let's just watch the end of the slideshow. What a beautiful portrait, everybody said. A portrait just like other portraits, Dorian said as he smiled. Yeah. Actually, everyone should have a portrait like that, you know?
Do you want me to paint your portrait?
And it won't turn out to be a hippo in the end?
Well, we'll have to see, Kate. It all depends on how you behave.
The Whale Called Moby Dick, based on a book by Herman Melville. Little Ahab was always so stubborn, and he refused to listen to anyone.
I don't really care, Kate. I'm not interested.
Once, Ahab went out without a hat and a scarf and caught a cold.
I'm not listening.
Then Ahab had a sore throat, and he had a lot of time to read books.
La 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 la.
In one of those books, he read about a captain that had been hunting a big whale by the name of Moby Dick for his entire life.
There's no such whale.
Yes, there is. And I thought you weren't even listening. Ahab decided that he would grow up and become a captain too. And one day, he would catch the monster. So he did. Ahab grew up and became a captain and sailed off to try and catch Moby Dick.
Come on, there are no whales like that.
It's not you talking. It's just your stubbornness. Ahab spent his days on the deck of the ship with his telescope in his hands. But it wasn't as easy as he thought to find the monster.
He's not gonna find anything.
After 3 months at sea, Captain Ahab saw ship debris overboard. On one piece of debris, he saw a sailor whose name was Ishmael.
It's kind of hard to find things in this world, especially things that don't actually exist, you know.
Ishmael told them that his ship had been sunk by a terrible monster. Hooray! The stubborn Ahab was happy. I found Moby Dick! Now, Ahab stood on the deck with his telescope day and night. Finally, he noticed a huge tail coming out of the sea.
Here's your monster, Kate. See how scary it is.
Okay, look. Are you gonna keep being stubborn, or can we watch the slideshow without your comments? The whole crew was begging the captain to turn back, but unfortunately, Ahab was way too stubborn to listen to other people's advice.
It's not a monster. It's a fish. Just a really big one.
The captain took out his fishing rod, tied 3 worms to the hook, and cast his line into the water. The monster swallowed the bait immediately.
Good. Good for him.
Save yourselves! Cried Ishmael. The captain was already reeling in the fishing line, and the monster was coming closer and closer.
Whoa. It really is a monster.
Moby Dick opened his toothy jaws. Jump! Jump in the water! Cried the crew. It's going to swallow you!
Oh, it's so scary. He's just gonna be eaten by that monster. Why doesn't he jump out of the way?
Because, like I said, the captain is very stubborn, Mike. But Captain Ahab didn't listen to anyone. Then, the captain disappeared in the jaws of the monster, along with his fishing rod and ship. Captain Ahab spent 3 long, lonely days in the whale's stomach.
He should have listened to the others.
Really, Mike? I thought he did everything right. On the 4th day, the whale sneezed, and Ahab flew out of his stomach, safe and sound. After that, Ahab was never stubborn again. So tell me, Mike, did you learn anything new today?
Of course I did. It's not like I'm dumb or anything. What I learned is that whales can actually sneeze just like the rest of us.
Little Mowgli, based on a book by Rudyard Kipling. The rain poured, the wind roared, and lightning flashed that night in the jungle. Wolf Akela and his pack found shelter in a cave.
I didn't even know that wolves actually lived in caves.
Oh, really? So you thought they only lived in computer games? In the morning, they saw a little boy fast asleep among the wolf cubs. Who is he? How did he get there?
Okay, now they're going to eat him, and he won't have time to be friends with wild animals.
Don't jump ahead, Mike. Keep watching. That is my prey, roared the tiger Shere Khan, peering into the cave. Give him to me!
And there's also a tiger. This one will surely eat the boy. He's a gun. That's it.
No, he's one of us now, said leader Akela. Go away, Shere Khan!
They turned out to be kind wolves. Or maybe they're not hungry.
Or maybe they're just noble. Have you thought about that possibility? Shere Khan left, but he held a grudge against them. You will regret this, Akela.
Ugh, what a meanie.
The boy then lived with the wolves. The wolves named him Mowgli. Mowgli was growing up to be a very happy, kind, and agile boy.
Mowgli? What a funny name.
Everyone in the pack loved Mowgli. So did the bear Baloo and the panther Bagheera. Only Shere Khan was holding a grudge, waiting for a time when he could have his revenge.
Yeah, cool. With friends like these, you don't have to be afraid of a tiger.
Once, Shere Khan got in Akela's way and interfered with his hunt. Akela missed on catching his prey.
Oh, he had his revenge.
Oh no! Akela missed catching his prey. Now that means the pack has to elect a new leader, said the wolves sadly.
Wait, they don't need a new leader. It wasn't Akela's fault. It's all Shere Khan. It's just not fair at all.
Mowgli, you have to help Akela, said Bagheera. Bring the red flower. Do it quickly. It's the one and only thing that Shere Khan is afraid of.
Are tigers afraid of flowers? What's so scary about them?
Who knows, Mike? Maybe it's some kind of unusual flower. Bagheera called the fire the red flower. Mowgli took it from the people in the village and rushed faster than the wind to help Akela.
Oh, I get it. The fire. Well, that's different then.
Meanwhile, the whole pack gathered near the council rock. Wolves, who's with me? Roared Shere Khan. I will be the new leader. I will now lead the pack.
You can't vote for him. He's nothing but a liar. He's a traitor. He wants to eat Mowgli.
First, you'll have to fight me, said Bagheera. And you'll have to fight me, said Baloo. And don't forget about me, cried Mowgli.
And Mowgli has the red flower.
This is for Akela, and this is for Mowgli. Mowgli stuck the burning red flower right into Shere Khan's face.
Here you go. Try smelling this. What's the matter? Don't you like the red flower?
Ouch! It's not fair that you have the fire, roared Shere Khan, and he ran off into the jungle.
Is it fair to interfere with Akila's hunt? Run away, crybaby!
Okay, Mike, calm down. He already got what he deserved. After that, Mowgli became the leader of the pack, and Akela and his friends helped him with everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would like that too. To become the leader of a pack. Only I'm a little afraid of hungry wolves and some dogs.
Then maybe you could start with hamsters? Osceola, the Chief of the Florists, based on a book by Mayne Reid. Once, a tribe of florists came to the brown swamp. The Flowerland will be here, said the florists, and they planted a large flower bed near the swamp.
So who are these florists anyway? And why do they think they're so strong? Who do they think they can really defeat? A ladybug or something?
The florists love their flowers a lot and take good care of them, day and night.
I got it. They'll tickle their enemies with blades of grass, right, Kate?
But then, a toothy crocodile who lived close to the brown swamp came crawling to the land of florists.
Whoa, look at the size of those teeth!
The crocodile liked the Flowerland a lot, mostly because it smelled so nice. Not like the brown swamp. Yuck.
Too bad. This'll be the end of your florists.
The crocodile decided to settle down in the Flowerland, and he sent all the florists to live in the brown swamp.
Pack your shovels, florists. From now on, all you'll be growing is frogs.
The crocodile hid himself in the tall bushes and patiently waited for a florist to wander by.
He's going to eat someone alive now. Why are you showing such scary things to a kid my age?
Soon, a little florist called Osceola approached the bushes. The crocodile jumped out and roared, "All of you must go to the brown swamp right now, or I'll eat you!"
Poor Osceola. I wouldn't like to be in his place.
The crocodile had no doubt that Osceola would be terrified. But he was mistaken. Osceola turned out to be a very brave boy.
It would be better if Osceola turned out to be a very fast boy.
"We will not go to the brown swamp. Go and live there yourself," said Osceola proudly.
That's it. Good for you, Osceola.
Having heard such an answer, the crocodile lost his courage and crawled back home. The other florists came running. They assumed the crocodile would be back soon, and when he did, they would be in trouble.
And they're right about that. The crocodile's coming back for sure.
"It's better to be in the brown swamp than in the crocodile's stomach," said some of them. "The crocodile has teeth. We only have flowers," agreed the others.
All right then, Kate. Who's gonna win this? The strongest or the smartest?
Well, Mike, that's just what we're about to find out. But Osceola came up with a smart plan. "The flowers have no teeth," he said, "but they have thorns. We will be able to protect ourselves from the crocodile."
Go to the next slide. What was his plan?
So Osceola called the best florists into a meeting and told them to plant cactuses.
But what do they need the cactuses for? Kate, do you understand anything?
Yes, I do, Mike. I understand that you will never defeat me. So, the next day, the Flowerland was surrounded by a thick wall of the most prickly cactuses in the world.
That is such a great idea!
The crocodile tried to get through the cactuses, but he only punctured his skin while trying.
This serves you right, you bad crocodile. No way that you're gonna beat our florists.
So the crocodile had to return to his brown swamp with nothing. And Osceola became the chief of the florist tribe. He continued defending the Flowerland from all the crocodiles and such. Hey, Mike, where are you going?
To go out and plant some cactuses. Now I know how I can defeat you.
Oh. Captain Fracassie, based on a book by by Théophile Gautier. Captain Fracassee was very noble. He would always sing sad songs to the frogs and let the mosquitoes bite him at night.
You mean that he only has frogs and mosquitoes around? What good is that?
One day, Fracassee met the beautiful Isabelle. She was very sad.
I can tell she's noble too. Just look at her face. She's almost ready to cry.
Isabelle couldn't find her brother, from whom she had been separated from during her childhood.
Oh, someone, please help me. I got a stain on my pretty dress. I'm so sad.
And of course, Fracassee wanted to help Isabelle because it was such a noble thing to do. He took his guitar, got on his horse, and lifted Isabelle right up next to him.
And why would he want such a crybaby anyway?
As soon as they left the castle, a roaring lion came out of the forest and ran towards them.
Hey, Kate, do you think noble people taste better than regular people?
Fracassee took his guitar and began to sing his saddest song. As soon as the lion heard the song, it began to cry. He then curled up into a ball at Fracassee's feet.
I thought there'd be a fight, and instead we have a concert. No way I would want to be like your Captain Fracassee. Just forget it.
But while Fracassee was singing the song, poor Isabelle was kidnapped.
It serves him right.
It was Fracassee's neighbor, whose name was Baron de Cunning. He had fallen in love with Isabelle and wanted to make her his wife.
I don't get it. Why would he want to be with Isabelle?
Fracassee chased after them, but Baron de Cunning sent off a dozen of the strongest fighters he could find to face Fracassee.
Oh, great. Another concert.
Fracassee took out his guitar again, but this time, not to sing, but to fight back. He swung his guitar at the fighters.
Okay, so he's not a crybaby after all.
The fighters were scared and ran away, and Fracassee galloped straight to the castle, where the beautiful Isabelle was kept in captivity.
Let's see how long he lasts.
To get inside the castle, Fracassee had to climb over a really steep wall and tiptoe across a very narrow ledge.
Whoa, that looks so high.
And Baron de Cunning was already waiting for Fracassee with a dagger in his hand.
Hey, Baron, that's not noble.
You just got done telling me that you didn't even know what being noble is. Poor Fracassee. Isabelle took out a silk handkerchief to wipe her tears. But the Baron put down the dagger the moment he saw the handkerchief.
Of course he did. She's been blowing her nose into it for 3 days.
My sister had a handkerchief like that, said Baron de Cunning. Oh, my dear brother, I found you, said Isabelle happily.
Wow, so they're brother and sister.
Baron de Cunning turned out to be Isabelle's brother. And Fracassee took his guitar and made a proposal of marriage to Isabelle. And of course, she accepted it.
Now I will be like Fracassee. Kate, I am so noble, kind and handsome. Give me my video game right now, Kate.
Oh, Mike, stop it. Pioneers by the Beautiful River, based on a book by Fenimore Cooper. A long time ago, there were lands that were unknown. Brave people were traveling out and discovering those lands, and then they settled there. Those people were called early explorers or pioneers.
Cool, I will become a biosphere too.
One day, 2 pioneers came to the bank of the beautiful river. One of the pioneers was called Chingachgook, which means the great snake in their native language. And the other one was called Leatherstocking.
And I will be called... Oh, Ooh, Mike the Big Ear, how's that?
Chingachgook had a deep understanding of herbs. He could tell the edible herbs from the inedible ones and could make healing potions.
No big deal. I can make healing potions too.
Leatherstocking could trace footsteps, and he knew the language of the animals.
I know animals' languages too. The cat says meow, and the dog woof.
Chingachgook and Leatherstocking lived in peace. They went fishing together, hunting together, and watched the sunrise together.
It's decided. I'm gonna be a pioneer.
Keep in mind that not everyone can become a pioneer. And then one day, Mr. and Mrs. Marmaduke came to the banks of the beautiful river. The Marmadukes always liked the beautiful river, and they decided that this is where they would make their home.
See? Now they are pioneers too, and it was so easy.
But it wasn't easy. On the very first day, Mr. Marmaduke ate poisonous berries, and he had a bad stomachache.
Can berries really be poisonous like that?
Chingachgook had to give Mr. Marmaduke a lot of tea, made with medicinal herbs.
Do you think that they have the recipe for that tea?
On the second day, Mrs. Marmaduke almost fell into the jaws of a hungry bear.
There are bears there?
She was really lucky that Leatherstocking was not too far away. Leatherstocking came over and asked the bear to please not eat Mrs. Marmaduke, and instead offered him a great big fish.
How do you say "don't eat me" in the bear's language?
On the third day, the Marmadukes had a picnic and almost burnt the whole forest to the ground.
Oh my goodness! Those people need a lot of help!
Chingachgook and Leatherstocking were barely able to extinguish the fire.
Oh, those Marmadukes. They know nothing, but they stick their noses everywhere.
Can you imagine? I have a friend just like them. His name is Mike the Big Belly. So Leatherstocking asked Chingachgook, why do we have to watch the Marmadukes all day long just to make sure they don't ruin anything? Are we their babysitters? No, we are not babysitters, answered Chingachgook. We are pioneers, explorers of new lands.
Am I the Big Belly? And you're Kate the Sneaky One.
So Chingachgook and Leatherstocking left the banks of the beautiful river to find an even more beautiful river. If you call me names, I'll leave you too, like the friends who left the Marmadukes.
Oh, I'm so scared.
And the Marmadukes stayed. They opened a fish store and sold fish. And of course, they made a lot of money. That's it. The end. So then, Mike the Big Belly, do you still want to be a pioneer?
Of course not, Kate the Sneaky One. Just one question. Do you have the book on how to speak like a bear, by any chance?